Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeon. I will have some announcements and a recap, but before I do any of that stuff, Nick, would you go ahead and start off a quick round of player introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Empress of White Ash, the Tabaxi Sun Soul Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay, and I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is an Arctic Circle druid. An elf, too, actually.
If you believe it.
If you believe it.
Hello, my name is Melissa, and I play Tuppence Wiseacre, who is a mighty little pixie bard.
Hi, I'm Zach. I play Vert, the Changeling Armor Artificer.
Thank you, everyone. Those announcements. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom pixie lineage, custom monsters, and all of that, so be aware of that as you're watching. The character portraits, which you'll see all over the layout and on the info cards and such, were drawn by various artists, and all of that information is down in the description, so if you see some art you like, check the description and then go support the artists, because they're all awesome. If you need a refresher on anything that's going on in this campaign, we have a campaign wiki at World Anvil. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information to everything I just mentioned and more, including some links to Stop Asian Hate and Black Lives Matter resources. And finally, you can follow us on co-host at Antiheroes if you want to see what we're doing and win and all that good stuff. And then we just hope you enjoy the show, share with your friends, and come back to watch some more. So with all that said, let's roll the intro video. Many happy returns. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous. Sorry, I just wanted to say something other than welcome back to throw off Zach. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Silver Seekers have been in the Feywild to find a fairy dragon named Nim. Once the pet of Lord Mistralath, the prior owner of the Seeker's Keep, Nim had retreated to the Keep's counterpart in her home plane after his death. Tuppence came to recruit Nim to sing the Concerto of Cleaving, but the dragon's sorrow was so profound that it warped the keep around her. Tuppence played the Requiem. It's in my head now. I can't say hear the bad pronunciation. Anyways, Tuppence played the Requiem of Remembrance for Nim, and though the dragon was reluctant to let go, the Seekers overcame the force trapping Nimlilium in her nightmares and restored Fey Song Hold to its proper state. And that is where we pick up today's episode. Too long to let her play out. I'm going to stop the music. Face on hold? Yeah, I know.
But also, the listeners can't see you winding up for that word.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
It's very cute. Right.
I don't know what it is. The bad pronunciation's in my head and I can't get it out. Anyways.
Been misled.
Yeah. Misled. To remind you all of where we ended last episode, the keep had transformed from its dreary and drab dream sorrow state to this new, more bright, and literally uplifting Fey Song Hold. A keep almost identical to yours back in Amberhearth, but this time like floating up on an earth moat above the roiling plains of the vernal grasslands down below. the thunderstorm has abated, and you find yourselves standing under a brilliant and extremely vibrant rainbow, all of the colors accentuated due to the fey energy of the realm. And with your new fairy dragon companion, what would you like to do?
Leave.
What? Hang on a minute. This is the Feywild that I read about growing up. This is beautiful. Don't you want to just...
You've heard different stories about the Feywild than I have.
Well, I've heard plenty, but I've heard it can be a place of great and vibrant beauty and wonders you'll never find back in our
Fun and
world.
wonders. And it all depends on where you are and who you're with. I'm not at.
I mean, what we saw before was like a nightmare. This is a dream.
As you're talking, from down below, you start to hear some sounds, and as you kind of perk up your ears and try to listen to them, and look down in that direction, you can see a rainbow of colors erupting from the grass below, as well as flowers are blooming across the field, and they are singing. La la la, la 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 la, just like, not really any kind of tune, but just these like la la sorts of noises.
I was hoping it'd be the Piranha Plant song.
Stop it. It's already stuck in my head.
So this whole
Gonna
time,
take it
Bert's
down
just
off
like
YouTube.
tapping his feet, and he's like looking at his pocket watch, like, you gotta go.
Just looking at salt then.
Well, this whole time isn't infused, so
Okay.
it's just a pocket
Oh, I
watch.
see, I see.
Yeah.
I understand that we can't stay very long, but surely we have a little bit of time to just enjoy it while we're here. I
How
mean, who
much-
knows the next time we're going to have this kind of opportunity.
How much time have we spent here, Ethan?
I was just counting that out. You're pretty much at the 12-hour mark.
So we could take a little time and look around. And...
I will say, though, your pocket watch, like, you can probably gauge that you're around the 12-hour mark, but your pocket watch, the dial is just spinning.
And so he's like, I hate this place. But,
I've always wanted to come here.
can't we just come back another time?
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, another time where we could spend time and not have to worry about the consequences.
I don't think that
Bert,
time
can you
is
roll a
ever gonna
charisma check?
Yes.
come.
A charisma check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can't use your intelligence for this.
I was just about to.
Considering
I was just about to. Okay. That would require me to have my dice in front of me. What was that for? Okay. 14.
14. A tiny rain cloud appears just over you.
I think Ellen sees that and just starts laughing.
Versus pouting.
Like covering her mouth, trying not to laugh, but definitely laughing.
Alright, we can spend a little bit of time here.
Thank you. Thank you. I promise it doesn't have to be too long. This is amazing.
Alright.
And I don't think we will have a chance to come back, at least not soon. And we're here now.
I was playing the wrong song. I was playing Embers' song. Here's the one I meant to play.
I wondered about that. I was like, is an Ember scene starting?
No,
Uh-oh.
no. My bad. I'm just bad at music.
Nim, how are you feeling now?
Still a little groggy, but I think I'm starting to wake up. I still don't really know how long I was in there.
Long time.
Do we know how long it's been since Mr. Laugh passed?
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
think we do know.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure
even,
we
like,
know.
we the players might not know.
You don't know precisely, but it would have been like somewhere around 5 years ago, because it was pretty
It was,
soon after
yeah.
the fall of Ogma. So
So, maybe, yeah, years. I'm not sure how long after Mr. Laugh's death that you left, but he's been gone at least 5 years.
To be stuck in a nightmare though for that long, it's probably gonna take you a while to recover.
she nods and says, "Yeah, I feel like I was in the nightmares before I even went to sleep, so it's gonna take a bit, but I do feel a lot better, and I have all of you to thank for that, so thank you."
hopefully you'll be making a lot more friends. Did you, by the way, did you spend a lot of time at the other keep? Or did you spend most of your time in the Feywild?
Well, hold on a second. I have to look something up before I get it wrong. I can never remember which syllables I've put where in Mr. Lath's first name, so I had to look that up. When Halar was there, I spent most of my time back at the keep, but we'd come here together sometimes when we needed to travel or what have you.
Well, I've just recently come to Amberhearth, but already I'm struck by how many wonderful people there are in town, so...
It's a great place. I did love the time we spent there. It's just, it got painful after he passed, you know?
Maybe we can make some new memories for you.
I think that'd be nice, and well, someday I'd like to see where he was from. I never got to, so I think I'd like to do that as well.
Where is he from? Do we know that?
I don't think that you know that, no.
Where is that? Where is he from?
Oh, he always talked about it. In such beautiful words. He could paint a word picture that you wouldn't believe. He was from the stars.
Oh,
Really?
we've been meeting a lot of those kinds of people lately.
Sweet.
I've never been able to go, though. He had duties to attend to down here. And,
Duty.
when you chuckle like that, Nim also chuckles a little bit. Oh, I walked into that, didn't I? But I always did want to go someday, and he always promised we would. So maybe I will without him.
Do you know how that would have happened? How did he come here?
On a ship of some kind. There's, I don't know if you found it, how long based on how long you've been living in the keep, but there's a room in the basement, a secret room, a vault.
Hmm.
And he kept something in there that would, that was his ticket home. A gem, it would appear, but really more of a seed.
Exciting.
I would like it if you could show us where that is.
Of course, yeah. She gets sad again for a second, and then she shakes her head. I was going to say he doesn't need it anymore, but that's thinking down a path I don't want to follow at the moment. I think he'd like you to have it.
Was this an item we'd already found?
Mm-hmm. But you didn't know what it was.
Identified. So do we leave
It was like a
in the-
crystalline seed, and I'm not sure what you did with it.
We probably left it there.
Ate it.
Planted it. Just see what it did. Maybe it looked like a seed. Planted it upstairs.
If you planted it, you didn't tell me that, because I was
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to maybe happen.
No, I didn't plant it.
Are you ready to head back up, or do you need some more time?
Yeah, she looks around and nods. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go. As soon as you are.
Not to ruin the moment or anything, but how are we meant to get down from here? I'll look over the edge.
Nim kind of looks down and says, "Oh, right. Not all of you can fly. I'll be right back." And she flies,
How high up are we?
probably about 100 and so feet.
Yeah.
She darts into the
How
keep.
much of that damage you can withstand if you just jump.
She darts into the keep and is gone for a few moments, but then you start to feel the earth moat drifting downward until slowly it makes contact with the earth below. And as it does, the plains, like the grassy plains, kind of create like a concave space that the earth moat like melds into, and the keep merges with the ground. And then she
Okay,
darts back
this
out.
place is
Sorry about
amazing.
that.
It is amazing.
So good. Well, I reckon we can start making our way back. Making our way back to the ring of the fairy ring, but let's take our time a little bit.
Yeah, we don't need to rush as much as we did on the way in.
Can I make a perception check? I want to look out and see if any of the red caps are still hanging around.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Or any other creatures that might be, dangerous or whatever.
We're vigilant.
Nothing else to do. 18.
You don't see any red caps still lingering around, so they must have vacated the area.
Okay.
And you think it's probably been like a couple hours since you last saw red caps. So,
Yeah.
what you do see is a number of the flowers that were singing have kind of uprooted and begun like walking and dancing around.
Mhm.
So they are the piranha plants.
A little bit.
Alright.
But also from that like strand of forest that was in between kind of the fairy ring that you came in through and the keep, you can see various colorful birds lifting up from the branches and kind of flying around and tweeting along with the song of the flowers. And you can see forest creatures like squirrels kind of playfully darting around the tree branches, and even some larger animals like deer and things like that, kind of gracefully leaping over roots and things like that in sort of a joyful manner.
Well, if there's no danger, then I'll at least point out the fun things to everybody if they're,
Begrudgingly, I'll at least point out the fun things.
Yeah.
Okay, Eeyore.
Okay, sorry. Be right back, guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
She's gonna float over and
Okay. That's
just run
great.
fun for a little bit.
That's great.
I
Play
hope that
flute. Play
one
flute.
squirrel met is okay.
Oh yeah, the squirrel who was in like an existential crisis.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah, and I think I'll listen to the song and try to learn it, see if I recognize it. Are they singing words? or
They're
just
not
la, la,
singing
la?
like any particular melody or anything like that, and they may even be singing multiple songs.
Like overlapping.
Yeah, there's really no order to it. It's not like a particular song. Though, do you want to roll a perception check real quick?
Yeah, happily. Are we in bright sunlight?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is an auditory one, so I'm not gonna...
Oh, okay.
You don't need disadvantage.
Alright. Ooh, dang, that's real good. That's 23.
23. There is kind of like a chaotic overlapping of different tunes and things like that, but very occasionally, as you're listening, as you're walking, you pick up maybe like a single bar of the Requiem for Remembrance.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, just like very rarely, very seldomly, but once in a while.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna walk toward the forest and see what else I can see, and
Well, in the way of these things, time flies when you're having fun. You're back to the portal before even an hour has passed. It is a quick trip back through the forest and over to the fairy ring. Yeah, you can go through it if you want.
Yep, go through.
Alright, bye, I guess.
Just like that.
2 years later, the rest of us follow.
The arch of flowers and vines and things like that rebuilds itself, and you can kind of see the shimmery forest of the material plane on the other side. You step through, and you are home.
Well, that was both better and worse than I expected.
But we made it. And we did it.
Mission
We
accomplished.
did come out, which is better than usually happens.
Thank you all so much.
Of course.
Anything for you.
Right. Yes, we better head back.
Yeah, so we don't have to play out like a minute by minute thing of whatever's next, but I do want to know what's next. What do you guys want to do with your time after you return to your home?
I do want to pull Embers aside when we return, like that night.
Yeah, I assume it's evening when we come back?
Yeah, I suppose it would be because it was
How
like
long have we actually
12
been
hours
here?
gone.
Yeah, okay.
So when we get back to the keep, I'll just kind of grab your arm and say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a little bit?"
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find a place in the keep to chat, maybe the roof.
Okay.
If it's not too cold.
No, it's actually like a warm summer evening.
Yeah, we'll head up to the roof. And I think Ellen will just go and kind of lean against it and look out, not really making eye contact, trying to make you feel more comfortable, you know. Just be like, so that was a lot. And I could tell that you seemed pretty distressed. I know it was a very emotional experience, I think, for all of us, but I wanted to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Yeah, I think the first parts of it were hardest when we were
lost.
and when we saw that thing that made us feel lost.
Yeah.
Those were the hardest parts for me. I've been thinking about it ever since we had a little bit of time to ourselves, and I was spending some time meditating.
Right.
Before we went into Nim's chamber.
Right.
Just think about some things as well. But I'm feeling okay now.
Insight check. I mean, you literally can't lie to me.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna roll it.
I'll roll too.
Oh yeah, my passive is 20.
I know, and the best I can do.
Do I have?
The best I can do on my deception is 18. And I sure didn't do that.
Well, if we go by my roll, it's 13. Because I can't roll worse shit when I'm trying to roll it.
Don't worry, I got a 4.
So, are you okay?
Embers is like okay, but pensive, and is like still like has kind of shaken off the jitters and like the worst of the emotional experience that happened, but is like clearly has a lot on her mind right now.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, Ellen will kind of just look at you for a second and just say, I don't want to cry, but I'm here if you want to talk about it. I think it's healthier to get it out.
Okay. Okay, here goes. So I kind of I have a crush on Kashira.
Uh-huh.
Do you now?
Yeah.
And a lot of, thinking about feeling lonely and being lonely, which has happened a lot in the woods, made me think about life after that we got back home.
Right.
And I've been, it's kind of weird for me because usually when I'm interested in someone, it's fine, I can just do whatever.
Right.
Right. I've been with some folks since you met me.
Of course, yeah.
But
neither of those have been real serious.
No, and I haven't actually said anything to Kashira at all, apart from what I'm thinking back on and realizing may have been sort of awkward.
Well, whatever my own personal feelings about her might be, she did leave the League for you. And I think that's a good sign.
The thing that worries me is if I act on those feelings, does that make it bad that I was helping her? Does that make it transactional? I don't want her to think that I'm only helping her because I want to,
Have you Have you ever been in a relationship where you held off on the physical stuff and just tried to be friends first?
No.
Maybe that's what you ought to try.
Could be.
I've done it both ways, and it sounds like if you're worried about it feeling like an exchange,
Yeah.
maybe take the physical out of it first. Make sure that, y'all are both feeling it, and let it grow naturally.
That's good advice. Thanks.
I'm happy to help if you need advice in that area.
Yeah, I thought about asking Tuppence, but I don't think Tuppence knows anything about this.
I don't know what kinds of things she's been into, but she doesn't strike me as being very experienced in that area either. Melissa's shaking her head violently for people listening. But yeah, not to say you can't be physical with her, but I think you'd both want to be sure, right?
Sure.
It's something meaningful.
For sure. For sure.
And if you need a wing woman, I can transform into animals and be unseen.
That's a weird offer.
Or, to listen to her talking about you to someone else, or to help you figure out what she likes or is interested in. So I don't think she'd tell me directly if I went and asked her. She'd probably tell me to go do something inappropriate to myself. But I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening anyway.
Of course. So the thing with Charm then was just
Oh, yeah, I mean...
convenient?
Sure, yeah.
Fun?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
It was nice when I needed it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
4 arms.
Yeah.
She gives really good hugs.
Is Sure still staying in town? Did she leave?
No, she's around as far as I know.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to invite her to dinner or something at the keep if you want.
Yeah,
We're not
going to
turn her away.
Okay.
And if she wants to help out the Seekers, join us as one of
Well,
our recruits.
I don't think she's quite there yet.
The door's open to her, is my point.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
I just wanted to make sure. I was worried about you, when we were in the fog, and I know how you don't like being left alone, so I was trying to find you. I just wanted to make sure that didn't leave any lasting scars.
No, none that weren't there already.
I'm glad you can talk to me, Dan. I'm here for you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna go get some rest because I feel like shit.
Good
Good night, others.
night.
I'll walk away.
Walk away. Does anyone else have anything they want to do just kind of that night?
You said it's the evening?
Yeah.
Probably the morning then.
Okay. Morning comes around.
I was about to say, are we supposed to meet with those folks at the... What's the inn name? The tavern name?
Oh, for our job?
Yeah.
You already met with them, didn't you?
Yeah.
But they they were going to come back to us for some other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay, so we're waiting to hear back about that. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to come to us at the keep?
They were going to get you a message somehow.
Okay, gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
And that remind our listeners what exactly that job was that you hired them to do again.
We wanted them to steal,
The ship.
the ship
Mhm.
from...
That's right.
From Fimir.
That's right.
Well, the one that's in transit from Fimir to somewhere else.
I remember.
It's long been transited. It's in a
Yep.
star lab somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On that note, though, in the morning when you wake up, Embers, you sleep, if I'm remembering correctly, in kind of that alcove next to a window.
Yeah.
There is, when you wake up, there is, listen to music. There's a messenger drake outside the window. and it is kind of perched on the windowsill out there, looking in at you, and occasionally like tapping on the glass with its claw.
I point upward and I head up to the roof.
Okay. It looks confused for a second, but then it does fly up that way.
Mhm.
And when you come up onto the roof, you see the messenger drake has perched itself on top of that sort of central structure in the middle of the walkway around the roof.
What do you got for me, little guy?
It flies down to you and opens its mouth, and then in Torga No Clan's voice, it says, "The boss wants to meet before she accepts your job. Midnight at the Bloodied Swath. Don't be late."
Understood. We'll be there.
And it closes its mouth and flies off.
I think it's that stretch of land where the final battle where Mr. Lap died, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just the name of an inn.
No.
So that's a great name for an inn.
Would be a great name for an inn,
But
but
it's not. Cool.
nope, it's a location outside of
Yeah.
Amberhearth.
I'll go find Birch.
Should mark a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Pick my spells.
Did we level?
We'll level after today, because
Yeah,
yes, I do think it's time to level, but I don't think it will matter today.
I'm like, crap, should I be level 7
No.
right now?
I was bad about communication this week. I should have told you earlier, but we can do it
But we
after
were
today.
kind of the end of it.
We did, and then I just remember because I looked at my character. I'm like,
It shouldn't super matter for today.
Yeah.
I don't think.
yep, that's fine.
Alright. We'll level after 2. She's making the rounds.
I have a dog to scratch.
Did you want to do something in the morning?
Yeah, I did. But what time in the morning is it?
Oh my god.
It's up to you.
Alright.
Just
Today
tell
is going to
us.
be very freestyle.
This is your scene. Tell us what you want and it will be.
Yeah.
Does Bert sleep in?
This is how we yes and.
Yes, and no, he doesn't sleep in today.
Okay.
I just didn't know if it was like, butt crack of dawn, or if it was like
Whenever you
whatever.
want.
Okay. Bert's thing today is he wants to go to the library and try and pull up more documentation on the experimental penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
Like maps how to get there, and like just like anything that could give him an idea of like layouts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Roll just an intelligence check,
Sure.
and you can use your intelligence modifier for this.
I will.
Go figure.
I'll stop making that dumb joke
Oh,
eventually.
natural 20.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Whoa.
It occurs to you as
With
you
my
start
thoughts.
thinking about going about this.
Mhm.
I mean, the library is unlikely to have layouts and things like that. You might be able to, there still might be some good info you can get there. It's still a worthwhile endeavor. But you know someone who was imprisoned there.
Yeah.
Embers was there.
I know.
So she might be able to draw you up a map of the basic layout, at least.
Right. Of the penitentiary itself, but like all the surrounding areas and stuff.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily, but
Yeah.
like the penitentiary itself, she could draw you up a map. She could probably also fill you in on like some basic info if you've got
Yeah.
questions about
Yeah.
the way things work there.
The other thing I wanted to do, kind of on top of this, or if I'm like reading books or whatever, is I also want to turn on the radio that I won
Mm-hmm.
in Fimir for the costume contest, and I wanted to listen in on whatever the latest Empire news.
Oh, you want to
is.
tune into a news station?
I do.
Okay. You fiddle around with the frequencies a little bit to try and find a broadcasting station, because, to be honest, there aren't many at the moment yet.
Mhm.
But eventually you do find what seems to be like a news broadcast. And it is all talking about one thing. Something has happened off the coast of Port Horizon Shroud. A Imperial military vessel went down in some sort of attack, and there's speculation about who the attacker was, but because the Empire hasn't, like the Emperor hasn't released a statement or anything like that yet.
Mhm.
But most of the speculation is theorizing that it was the Iron Republic.
Mm. And that was a scene, remind me, that we as players knew
Mhm.
about, but we had no idea as characters.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay.
Exactly.
Is that the cliffhanger of the last season?
No, it was the opening to the
Oh,
season.
Yeah.
There
Right,
was
I knew it was one or the other.
an Imperial Warden who was on a ship, which I forgot the name of the ship. The something Empyrean, I think.
Okay. So I'll listen to that. Let's see. But yeah, I guess if there's nothing I can learn from library research.
Well, I'm not saying there's nothing. There still might be a valuable way to go, but I'm saying with your role, you realize you also have another resource.
Yeah.
In the form of Embers.
Okay.
And I apologize, Nick. I did not create info for you in time, but
That's fine.
my thought was Vert could ask Embers questions, and I could say, yes, you'd have the answer to that. No, you wouldn't have the answer to that, and I can provide you that info.
So yeah, I guess before leaving the keep to go into the town, then he might look for embers in the keep.
I'm looking for you, so it works out.
Okay, so yeah, then we run into each other.
Ouch.
Hey.
Yeah.
I got a message. We're supposed to be at the Bloodied Swamp at midnight tonight
Oh, for the job.
for the job.
Okay.
Do we still want to do this? It seemed really important before we went to the Feywild, but now we've got maybe something else. We should look into that secret.
Well, maybe we should do that first, and then decide if we need their help. Okay, so, and then, yeah, before I forget, I also wanted you to help me draw a little layout for the penitentiary.
Oh.
If you remember all of the details from when you were there.
I remember a lot of details.
Okay.
I was there for 20 years.
Yeah.
There are parts of it I've never seen, just more
Right.
off the bat, but yeah, I know how to get there. I know what it's like inside from most places.
Do you want to spend some time drawing?
Sure.
Hop over to roll 20.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Now, Embers, you haven't been in all of these rooms.
Hold on a second, Ethan. Let me get this set up. It's
Uh,
very big. Okay.
Is it up now?
Yes.
Embers, you haven't been in all of these rooms, but you know generally this is the layout. The big question mark that you're not sure about is the high security area, which is a place you've never been to.
Mhm.
You don't really know how to get there. You know it exists. But yes, there's a high security area where like dangerous criminals or like very important criminals, like you suspect Bert's dad might be, would be kept. And you were never in that area. So.
I met your dad when I was solitary for a little while.
He was in solitary?
Well, temporarily. There were a couple of guards who they were kind of lazy, and they didn't want to bother bringing him all the way to, or going through whatever procedures they had to do to bring him to where he was supposed to be. So they just they let him cool his heels in a cell next to me in solitary for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw him in general population.
I see. And then, the high security area, would that be like on a different level? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the thing is, as far as Embers has seen, most of this place is a single level. With the exception of there's a tower in the center that kind of looks down over the cell area. And then there are exterior towers as well, kind of in the surrounding area, just kind of dotted around as like lookout type towers. And there is an exterior yard where sometimes the prisoners could go out if they got like good behavior and things like that. But yeah, as far as Embers knows, it's really, like, most of the prison is a single level. And you
Right.
don't know where in that level the high security area.
Any rumors or anything? Any, like, I don't know,
The problem is...
like guards grumbling around about stuff or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because, well, for one thing, Embers kind of kept to herself and
Mm-hmm.
into her books during the time, so didn't really socialize. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
The other thing is, a lot of the like basic guards wouldn't know about know about the details of the high security place themselves. That's more like the higher ranking officers are in charge of that.
Sure. All right. Well, Embers, maybe what we do then is we can check out the seed now, and then when we go and meet those at the Clouder tonight, maybe we could just change the job.
Think you want to bring him to the pen?
Well, what they could do is they could do some information gathering for us. Figure
Yes,
out where that high security place is or how to get into it.
I suppose so. Greyman's kind of a long way from here.
Yeah, but maybe they have connections with people who work there or, you know a person who knows a person.
Don't they? Could we tap them for information on that guy that you've heard about who escaped?
Yeah, maybe.
Seems like whether or not he knows anything about the high security area, that'd be a useful thing to know because we are going to have to get out of there.
Yeah. Remind me, was that person... when did we hear about that person?
You did some research on the penitentiary
Oh, yeah.
a while back.
That's
I
right.
think it was back when you were in Fine Air, maybe?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one of those things where, like, most of the documents referring to the penitentiary laud its, like, perfect record of no escapes ever, but you found, like, one small inconsistency in ledgers and things like that that kind of led you down this route, which brought you to the realization that this one person had escaped.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, officially, no one's escaped.
Right.
But from what you figured out through your research, one person actually did.
Okay.
You don't have like that person's name or anything.
You do have a name. It was, let me find it and make sure I'm getting it right, but I think I know what it is.
Mara?
Stormwind?
Mara would never get caught.
No, she wouldn't.
Only on purpose.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at the shape of the warden's office. Is he a big...
Might
It's a
be.
chapel.
The dragon's office is
Is that what
totally
they call it these days?
I like the dragon one. I'm like, did Molo write that?
Dragon!
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
was-
would ask Embers about that. What's this part?
Mara would have never gotten caught.
Oh
first.
yeah, the warden is one of the
the Draco Spears.
Drake Spears.
Oh,
There is-
okay.
There is a dragon at Greymantle.
All yard time is supervised by the dragon.
Is it like a legit dragon, or is it like
It's a real dragon.
shoot? Well, that could pose an issue.
This dragon, let me tell you, is above your challenge rating.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an adult dragon.
Mhm.
Wow. This job just got a lot more complicated, I think. Potentially. Okay, so we want to avoid that thing.
I think when you're doing your heist planning, though, you're going to want your whole crew there.
Yeah, I think Embers is asked at this point. Is this something we're about to do now?
I mean,
Are you asking me this for a reason?
just trying to get the preparation steps taken care of.
Inside checks.
Perception, persuasion.
I'm not deceiving you.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the point if you're not seeing a roll
Well-
persuasion?
Hey, I got pretty good. I got
He can just base it on whatever Nick rolls. It doesn't have to roll against
I
it.
got a 21.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. My insight,
Yeah, I know.
my insight's way better than my perception.
So you
I know.
you gather that Vert's telling the truth, but he's really what's what I'm looking for? Like, he's anxious
Mhm.
about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he's like really over analyzing things right now because it's on his mind, like 100% of his head, and is just thinking about this. So he could very well just be being really overly methodical and like just over planning right now.
I see.
I did find the name of the person who escaped in my notes. It's a legendary thief, forger, and con artist from Nearest named Shay Hexwing.
Shay Hexway.
Are you going to say Misco?
Misko, the legendary thief. Nope.
Okay.
All right. Well, I know that you're anxious and eager to get your dad out, but let's take this one step at a time today. Maybe we can go find that seed and talk to Ellen about growing it.
Yeah, let's do that. It's a good idea.
Ooh.
Sound like scurries.
What is going on over there?
Just begging for treats, I think.
No, she wants up on the couch, but she doesn't want to go past your knees.
No, she's been back in the bush.
Oh.
Skittish girl.
Okay, so you go find the rest of your party?
Yeah.
We don't need to show roll to
Yeah.
Tell me about it. And let me take care of her. Here's stuff.
I did have fun. I put the map in the background and then just kind of traced over it.
Can make the hand drawn. That's funny. So, yeah, hi y'all. What's up?
You know the most of us about growing things. We have a seed that we like to try.
Right. But it looks more like a gemstone than a real. Can I do like a nature check or something on it?
Yeah.
Can we go find it? Is it in the vault?
If that's where you left it, then yeah, it's there.
We'll just
I
find
didn't
it.
have it in mind.
I don't think I would have taken it.
Do you take Nim down with you as well?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
And Tuppence too.
Charm ticket.
Oh man.
It's in the Skullscar Desert.
Alright, our next adventure just changed.
Honestly, I tried to go back and find out what you did with it, but
I think we left it there. I'm
Yeah.
not certain.
I could not find info on what you did with it, so I just decided whatever you say you did with it is the truth. Yeah, so you go down into the vault, and Tuppence, this is your first time seeing it. It's got this huge, like, metal swinging, like, bank vault type of door. And inside there's just... did you leave all the gold and stuff in there too?
Well, I think we've been using it to pay the
Yeah, that's true.
Small amounts of it.
recruits. So I think we would have left large amounts of it
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there.
So there's lots of
Capital.
gold and gems kind of organized into piles down here. And then in a treasure chest on one of the sides of the room under like a painting that Lord Mistralath presumably did himself of like the night sky, there was a chest that had this crystalline seed inside of it, as well as a supply of refined fairy crystal.
That's right.
And when you go into the vault and go over to the chest, Nim kind of grabs the seed in her paws and kind of pulls it out, and then grabs a couple of the fairy crystals. And Nim says, "Right, this seed is apparently a star moth seed.
Oh,
And I don't know exactly how it works, but if we plant it and care for it properly, it should grow into a means to travel to the stars." Mr. Luff, Alar said that you would need to plant these crystals with it to give it energy and power or something like that.
have I ever heard of crystals being used like that where I come from to help nurture?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do like a
A nature check, sure.
nature check? Arcana? Nature?
Can I help you?
Arcanature?
Arcanature. Okay, help me. Oh, pretty good. 21.
So this crystalline seed, it does seem natural to an extent, but it's like a it's got an arcane twist to it, obviously. It's not like anything you've seen before, but as you kind of look at it and extend your druidic senses towards it, like, you can feel life within this crystal. And it is sort of waiting for, I mean, in the same way that, a regular seed kind of waits for energy from the sun and from water to grow. It is waiting for, like, some energy to infuse it, and then it will start to develop.
Right.
Obviously, it's it doesn't feel like it's water and sunlight that this thing needs, at least not exclusively. Like I said, you've never heard of fairy crystal being used in this way, but you do know that refined fairy crystal stores energy to an extent. It's just really not used that way back in your time. You're also not necessarily super familiar with the process for refining it.
Right. Yes, yeah. I'm not an artificer or anything like that.
If I'm remembering correctly from what we established, basically, Alvaria is the only place you can do it, supposedly.
Yeah. We get it from a very specific source.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this is, not completely foreign, but also nothing I've ever, nothing like anything I've ever tried before, but, if all we have to do is plant it with these crystals, put it up with the rest of my garden on the roof, and, or not on the roof.
It might not be enough space. My impression was this thing's going to be quite large when it's done growing.
So,
We should maybe find a clearing in the forest or something.
Liam nods.
Away from prying
would it
eyes.
be safe if it was not on the grounds of our keep?
What if we built a pen for it?
I'm just a little bit worried it'll get discovered if it's out in the open on our grounds.
That's true.
Well, we could try and find a place in the woods. There's lots of woods back there. We could
Yeah, that's
clear a little area.
kind of my specialty, and I might be able to, well, I did prepare a spell today that would help me, create more cover for it, naturally, to make it blend in, and, maybe I can use that to help, the process along, too.
Hey, good idea.
To the woods!
To the woods.
In the woods!
As you go into the woods,
Get it back warm.
Nim is kind of like humming and singing to herself a little bit. And at one point in the journey, she just kind of flies over next to Elwyn and says, "You know, I've always found when Alar grew plants before that singing to them helped them grow. Maybe I'll sing to it while it grows?"
That would be great.
I think that it might like that. I think I might like that.
I think that would be lovely. That would be... I know talking to plants, I used to do that a lot back home too, my garden back home, and that helps. You know, they can hear us.
Alar always sang to the plants in the keep, and a lot of them withered when he left, so yeah, I think it makes a difference.
Well,
Does somebody say music? Let's go!
Alright. So we find a clearing big enough to grow a star moth?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't know how big it's going to have to be,
I don't
but
know
I
what
mean-
the star moth is.
Well, we'll just make the clearing bigger when you do while it's growing.
I guess so.
True. That's true.
You also don't know how fast it's going to grow.
Well, I was gonna cast plant growth.
Okay.
Once we find a clearing and find a place to plant the seed and put the crystals in with it. And let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking up the spell now.
Because it's an
Makes it grow.
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous.
Nice and slow.
Oh yeah, this was not.
Or like,
Time.
oh, what's that? What's that stuff called? Miracle Grow, yeah. Miracle Grow.
So I could basically sit here with it for 8 hours to enrich the land. But I have multiple 3rd level spell slots, so I could cast it as an action to kind of make this place more overgrown and make it more difficult terrain and thicker, like
Which would make it
undergrowth.
more difficult for someone to stumble upon it.
Exactly. That was my plan. So my first plan is once we've picked a place, we have basically clearing around it, but also create a dome of overgrowth and thickened canopy for the trees. And
you do think this probably will need some sunlight, so you can't block
won't
sun,
completely block it, but just make it a little bit more difficult. And I can also cast daylight if I need to give it sun.
It's true.
Camouflage.
So yeah, I just want to make it a little bit less likely that people will stumble upon it. And then, I mean, we've picked our place now, so y'all can do what you're going to do. I think I'll sit here and try to pour some energy into it and hopefully give it a good kickstart today. So.
Yeah, well.
And if you guys want to sing to it for a while, that'll be fine, but I'm just going to camp out here today. I think I've got all day, so.
You like playing the drums?
Maybe not. That feels like it a fluke last time it worked.
Yeah, so I'll basically just stay cross-legged
I'll let
and
the
start casting over 8 hours the plant growth.
Yeah, I mean,
to enrich.
when you cast the first spell, obviously like that dome of thickened canopy appears, and you instantly have like this protected thicket, which is nice. And then when you start to enrich the ground, just like little by little, you can see the blades of grass growing up, and like trees that maybe looked a little parched from the summer heat, like become bright green again. The nature around this area just begins to flourish. Tuppence, did you want to stick around to sing with Nim?
Sure.
Okay. Let me make a performance check then.
Do I have to?
You do. Because this is a matter of how high you roll.
Oh, I see. Okay. $16.
And Nim rolled a 15. Together, the two of you, spend a little while sitting with Elwyn and singing for this plant. And by the time you're done singing, there's already some visible change in the soil where you planted this seed. This little crystal stalk has started to appear from the ground, and it's branched into leaves that have like a moth wing-like shape to them.
Badass.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I think Ambrose is like initially says, I'll stay here. I'll stay with you. This is kind of interesting. And is there for like half an hour and then gets like bored.
Yep.
Like literally watching plants grow.
Yep.
And says, you had this, right? I'll see you all later. And leaves.
Kurt doesn't even wait that long. After like the first couple minutes, he's like, okay, I'm gonna check in with Nadia to see if she has any like arcane security measures that we could borrow or buy.
Actually, I think I go with you then.
Okay.
Like, oh, Nadia.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
When you pass, when you're on your way down the road from your keep to Amberhearth, you encounter something.
Random encounter.
No, yeah, I roll a random encounter. No, it's a dragon. No.
Go back to Grey Mantle.
Prison Break wasn't
there are two figures coming up the road, and one of them is carrying like something large over his shoulder. And you can't really see much of them at a distance, except that they seem really tall. These two figures.
Two figures. Okay.
Heading to the keep.
Yeah, heading up the road to the keep, and you're going back the other way, towards town.
Hello? Hi?
Yeah, as they draw closer and see you waving, they both give big waves. And you can see now that they're not actually really tall.
What are you right now?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. What am I?
Are you still rough? You were rough before.
Yeah, I was a rook before.
But it's a new day. Be anyone you want.
I might just be rook again. Yeah, I'll be rook again.
Okay, I'm just looking up my descriptions of these people. As you draw closer, you can see that they're not actually really tall. They're both pretty average height, but they have big, tall rabbit ears. As two rabbit-like beast folk are hopping up the road in your direction. One of them, slightly taller, has light gray fur, and as you get close, you can see ice blue eyes. Oh, I know.
I don't think she even wants pets. She just wants to complain.
Like rabbit.
She might need to go outside.
Rabbit?
Yeah.
Do I want to pause and let someone
No,
else?
I'll take her. You guys keep going.
Okay.
He's got this white collared shirt with like a loose tie in between the collar, and a pair of thin suspenders holding up his pleated trousers. And then sitting between his long rabbit ears, he's got like a black fedora. And then the one who's kind of a couple steps behind, and a little bit smaller, she seems to have white fur and like those red rabbit eyes, and then floppy ears. And she's the one carrying something over her shoulder, and you realize it's a tripod with one of those camera devices you saw at the Argent Athenaeum on it.
Okay.
And as they draw closer to you, the one in the lead, who's got the hat between the ears, says, "Hello there!"
Hey,
Hello.
are you headed to the keep?
Yes. Actually, by your description, I take it you're one of the new owners?
Oh, well, I'm a
Yeah.
bodyguard of the owners. The masters of the house aren't there right now.
That's a shame. I was hoping to do a little bit of an interview. You see, I'm Errol, and this is my sister Eris. We're reporters. Hearth Herald. We've heard whisperings of something on the up and up over here. A little bit of a business or some recruiting going on, and we were hoping to get an interview with the owners and founders of these Silver Seekers and kind of get the inside scoop before the group takes off. Story that'll really get the readers hopping. His sister's just kind of like nodding along. She doesn't seem to say much.
Where is the Hearth's Herald located? Are they in Amberhearth?
Yep, it's a family business. We've got a little, cluster of houses kind of on the edge of town. We just really run it out of our homes, but cover mostly local stories. I'm surprised you haven't heard of us, as long as you've been in town.
There's been a lot going on with the rebuilding and
This is true.
all the other things.
And we didn't get set back up right away as well.
Right.
There's a lot of rebuilding to do.
Been spending some time out of town.
Well, I mean, since today's not a very good day, maybe we can have them come by sometime later. Our people will talk to your people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he pulls out like a notepad, and like a pen, like a ballpoint pen, and just asks, "Yeah, when might be a good time to come by? When would the owners and operators of this Silver Seekers group be around to answer some questions?"
Emrys says nothing and is going to leave all of
Yeah,
this
that's
to you.
fine. Oh my goodness. Right when she comes
She's
back.
like, I'm back.
Yeah, they welcome back. Yeah, I think they're gonna be pretty booked for the next few days probably. So can we just come to your office at some point?
His face falls a little bit at that, but he says, "Well, if you're already booked, then I suppose that's that. But please do tell the owners and operators that we'd like a quick interview. It'd be great to get the scoop before anyone else jumps on it."
Sure. Yeah, you'll be the first to know. Maybe how is your messenger Drake isn't ready to. Well, but like local messages.
Might be
right?
ready for really short range messages at this point.
Yeah, we'll send you a Drake. We'll send you a messenger Drake.
All right, we'll be waiting. There's other stories I got to get on, anyways. So we'll be hopping off.
All right. What was his name?
It's good meeting you.
Errol.
Errol.
Yeah,
And
I'm
and his sister was Eris.
I'm Embers, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Embers, and extends a hand.
All right. Well, we'll be off then.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Gives a little salute and kind of
Yep.
walks away.
Then we'll continue on.
What you missed is that reporters came to talk.
Context clues.
Just what you want, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why
Publicity.
we're gonna have to figure this one out.
Okay, and then you were headed to Nadia's?
Embers has got like the outfit she made, carrying it with her.
Oh, I thought you already dropped that off with her.
I felt like it made more sense to do it now.
Okay, sure. Right, you find your way to Harmony's Wild Magics, and it is, the outside is garish as it always is.
Right.
Rude.
Not at all in keeping with the village's rustic aesthetic. Yeah, and you go inside. What was it Bert was hoping to do here?
So, well, I guess there's two things now. One is I want to check the security on that little toy and see if I can beat it again. The other one is I wanted to see if she has any like arcane security measures that we can like borrow or loan, like get on a loan or something.
Okay. See, I was going to do something. I had something in my notes to do something next time you went there for your magic tutoring, but since that's not your objective, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do
I mean, I would like to do that, but I don't know how much time we
We'll
have.
save it for next time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go in and Nadia is not at the counter. There are like some town children who are kind of like looking around and like picking things up. Like one of them picks up what looks like your decanter of endless milk, and then like somehow turns it on, and like there's a geyser of water that just like erupts in their face. But yeah, other than that, Nadia doesn't seem to be around at the moment, but she might be in one of the back rooms.
Okay. I mean, she has like a way to call her. We have a way to call her, right?
I think there's like a little service bell.
Yeah. I'll ring the bell.
When you ring the bell, you hear some clattering from one of the back rooms, which Embers, I think you know, is like the testing room where you went with the geyser, the fountain of the decanter of endless milk. There we go. Yeah, and Nadia shouts out, "Just a minute!" And then a few minutes later, she comes out and like her face is just like blackened with soot, except for where there's like an outline of goggles. But she isn't wearing any goggles at the moment, and she kind of comes up to the front counter and is like dusting soot off of herself.
Keeping busy, I see.
Oh, always. Well, it's good to see you. I'm glad you made it back from the Underdark.
And the Feywild.
Oh, you went to the Feywild too.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It was a little bit too exciting.
It was.
Actually,
It was-
you saw her after you made it back from the Underdark, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
least one of us did, right?
That's right. Well, what can I help you with today?
Well, we have reason to need some, like, arcane security devices.
Arcane security
Yeah, for like
devices.
a decently large proximity and keep an eye on things, make sure there's no trespassers, sort of deal. I figured you might have something because you probably have something for your shops.
Yeah, she comes around the counter and goes over to a set of shelves that seems to have... Oh, this isn't the song for this shop. We
Because,
need
like,
March
I mean,
of the
Vert can
Spoons.
cast Alarm as a spell, but, like, I wouldn't want to have to do that every 8 hours or whatever, right?
Especially if we're gonna leave for a while.
Right.
Yeah, she takes you to a shelf that has a bunch of scrolls and does pull out a bunch of scrolls of the alarm spell and says, well, I've got these. These will cast a spell that can ward a certain area and
Right.
let you know if something happens there. And then if you voice your concerns about casting it.
Yeah,
ask
like,
it.
well, I'm, you know, I wouldn't want to have to do that every... I wanted something to be semi-permanent. And, like, if you had something that we could just, like, borrow, or I could get off of a loan, maybe, and bring it back.
You know, we don't really do loans, but I mean, I could mention it to my boss and see if it's something she's open to.
Yeah, would you mind?
I do actually think we might have something that would work well.
Okay.
My aunt, she was experimenting for a little while with kind of a stationary item that would hold up an alarm perimeter. Never really got it to work perfectly. There were some kinks. But if that still interests you, I could offer it to you at a decent price.
Guess it depends on what the kinks are.
It can be variable. In the way that her magic works, sometimes it's variable.
But at the same time, like, will it work?
Oh, it'll work. It just might do something else as well.
So it'll
Sometimes.
always do what we want it to, but
Oh, yeah.
do
Oh, yeah.
something else.
Mm-hmm.
And these other things, are they problematic?
Sounds like it varies, right?
Yeah.
They're always interesting.
Okay. Not destructive, not...
No.
Okay.
Good. I mean, and honestly, it shouldn't even be a problem for you as long as, your perimeter doesn't get breached. It usually happens when something that shouldn't crosses that barrier,
Okay. Not really. Okay. What is it? Okay. Sure. Tell me more about it. Like, what's the...
Well, it was, and she'll fish around, and then come out with, like, what looks like a length of, cord.
Uh-huh.
But you can see that the cord has like arcane sigils and glyphs, like, drawn into it. And she says, if you rope the area with this, you can even bury it under the ground if you want to keep it hidden. And that area should become subject to a similar effect to the spell on these scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if something that shouldn't breaks that perimeter, something strange might happen. It doesn't always, but at least the base effect, where you'll be notified of the alert, that should always take place.
Okay. What's the length of the cord?
So it would probably come in like... Oh, I didn't loop this song. It would probably come in like 100-foot lengths, but she probably has several of those. So, like, she'd say, how much do you want?
Did we get any indication from Nim on how big this thing is going to be?
Nim didn't know.
Okay.
For the record, the area that I was able to control with my Bankrupt spell was a 100-foot radius, I think.
Okay. So... I could do the calculation if you want me to tell you how long that is.
It's not super important, I don't think.
Okay.
However much you want or need, you can procure it. And I am going to call this an uncommon magic item. So if you're interested in buying it, you can roll a d4 for me. And we'll see how much it costs.
All of them? Or
One.
Each?
It's just going to run you 200 gold pieces.
Per 100-foot length?
For the whole thing.
Nice.
As much as you want.
For as much as you want?
Pretty much, yeah.
For 200 gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
Basically,
Basically,
what this for on the keep too.
Yeah.
Basically, what will happen is if anyone who's not supposed to enter that area enters that area, on a percent chance, I might roll on the wild magic table centered on that person.
Yeah, I need this to happen. Hey, Torin, come here.
Test something.
Torin, I need you to test something.
Fireball centered on Tor.
Oh no. He can handle it.
He'd
He
survive.
actually could. Okay, yeah, so we'll buy a unlimited amount of
It's not
alarm rope.
unlimited, but like,
We'll buy a unknown quantity of alarm rope. What do you want to call this thing?
Set quantity.
yeah, we can call it an alarm cord. This item
Alarm
doesn't
cord.
exist. I'd have to make it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just put it in my notes.
Yeah.
And then,
Come up with a funnier name. Or more harmony.
yeah,
You can come up with a name if you
I'm
want.
thinking.
An alarm.
Cord of Alarmony.
Okay, it's a cord of alarmony,
Okay, hang on. How do you spell alarmony?
like it sounds. I think.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Alright. That's what I...
Alarm.
Oddly enough, these cords did not make us an alarming amount of money. An alarm money.
They're there. Can I also try that? Can I try and breach the security on that little toy thing too? Am I allowed to do that again?
Yeah, you can try again if you want.
Okay. Let me add the cord of alarmony real quick first. Is that what we're calling it?
That's what we're calling it.
Okay.
Love it.
Alarmony.
So pleased.
Okay.
Sheila's.
Cord should be spelled CHORD. Because if you cord.
I see.
We're done with the music theme for the moment.
Yeah.
I meant like cords of rope, but
Oh, I see.
cord.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Yeah, the
Heartstring.
the 5-finger discount area is currently guarded by
She had to up
like
the security.
bobblehead automatons of Xant and Thaddeus.
Mhm.
So,
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the Xants are up in like watchtowers with a bow, and the Thaddeus are like patrolling around on the ground with a little light up sword.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Just wait till Mara gets added.
I know.
Alright. Yeah, so it was just sleight of hand, right?
Mhm.
Alright.
No, she'd have her bowling pin.
First gonna crack his knuckles. There we go. Try this again. Uh, 28.
Oh snap! Yeah, you're able to grab one of the baubles from in there, and
Okay.
if you present it to Nadia, she looks at it with
Yeah.
awe, and
I'm back no
says,
sweat.
"No one has gotten past the upgraded level yet. This is impressive."
I'm the reason you upgraded in the first place, remember?
Yeah, well, we'd had people breach that level before, but wow, that's impressive. I am eager to see what my boss comes up with next to up the difficulty for you. Yeah, well, she hands over what I believe is... Let's see, what was the reward for it? Yeah, it's a 5% discount voucher for your next purchase.
5%? Okay.
You know what? 5% was for the first level. We'll up it to 10% for the second list.
Alright. Good deal. I'll put that in my...
I love it. I just love everything about this shop.
Yeah, I
You helped sign it, so...
When I look at Embers, I don't think I have anything else.
Oh, I did. Embers plops the dress.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I made it.
You made it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She's like looking at all the details. This is really good work.
Thank you. And I don't want anything really bad to happen to it, so I thought I'd get it enchanted here.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm looking for it. At first, I just wanted it to have one of those enchants where it kind of like mends itself, so it doesn't suffer the kinds of wear and tear that I tend to put on clothes. Embers looks down at her own tunic.
Yeah, that's that kind of thing is really easy to do. Boss should have no problem with that.
And the second thing is,
The second thing.
I just went on a journey, you might say. I would like these clothes to be waterproof and make me waterproof as well.
She nods and says, "Well, both of those on their own are pretty simple, but sometimes when you combine two magical effects of different natures, strange things can happen. So I can take this to my boss. She loves custom projects. There is a chance that there might be some... I'm sure that she can make the two effects work, but there might be some other side effect.
Any side effect would be fine if I never had to get wet again.
Okay. Yeah, we can make that happen. She like brings out like a little calculator machine and like does some tapping fingers. And I think I gave you a price.
Yeah, 60 gold.
60 gold. Yeah, because they're both simple enchantments. Yeah, this shouldn't take too much. 60 gold should do it.
All right, now
So
fish out the coins from my purse and hand them over.
I will, next time I go to my boss, I will take this with me. She should be thrilled. She loves custom projects. So
I don't know when we might be gone for a while elsewhere.
Okay.
Don't ask.
Wasn't gonna. Now that you say that, I need to know.
But hopefully it'll be ready by the time we get back.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be gone for a little while, that should be no problem.
Thanks.
Yeah, and she kind of takes the dress into her care and sets it in like a metal box behind the counter, where it will be safe from any blasts or explosions.
Excellent. You gonna be around for a while, Nadia? You gonna be in town for a while?
You never know, do you?
How
Well,
would she know?
well, I mean, other than the unplanned, I'm wondering if she had.
Well, I don't have any plans to be anywhere else at the moment. No.
Okay. Yeah.
I do need to get back to my boss's shop in Redwater for a little bit to deliver this dress to her. But
Sure. Okay. Just seeing if I might come by for some more instruction.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm planning on being around, so...
Okay. See you in a little bit then. See you later.
Okay. Then yeah. Dress delivered.
Mhm.
Alarm acquired.
Yeah, and then so
Court of Alarmony.
I'll head back with the Court of Alarmony to the
I'll say,
forest.
since it's not an unlimited amount, you've got enough to ring the forest area. And you could probably, I'll just say you can do the keep as well, because that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want to ring the keep, you can as well.
Oh man, the keep's gonna just be wild magic like crazy. That's gonna be awesome.
I just love that Harmony's touch is just expanding. She's getting into everything. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, right at the keep
Super
because
fun.
we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trying to find a good song here.
So for adding people to with the alarm spell, is it like a command word, and then we like? Is it something that anybody can do?
Let's read the alarm spell.
Because the caster can determine.
Yeah, so I think when you set it up, you'd be the caster and you'd make that determination.
I guess what I'm hoping for, because if we leave like Torin in charge of the keep, and he's like gatekeeping and allowing people in and out, we would need him to be able to say you're allowed on the grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can
So-
specify him when you set it up.
But I would want him or someone else to allow people while we are gone.
So basically what I'd say is...
So you want him to be the one that
The
gets
caster,
paid. Yeah. You can have him set it up when he's
or
back.
can it be like a co-op casting?
So
thing?
you could set it up for now, and then when he gets back, you could have him reset it up, I think, is how it would have to work. Basically, the person who casts the spell has to, like, transfer ownership, I think is how it would have
Okay,
to
so
work.
you're only allowing one.
Yeah,
which makes
one
sense.
person would be able to alter it, and then that person could transfer it to another.
And
Okay.
then that's the person that would get paid mentally.
Okay, so for now, I'll do the setup, and then, like you said, transfer
Yeah,
ownership.
you could transfer it to your head of security later.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. That's what I'm I'm excited for the web spell to be casted randomly, like, oh, intruder.
Lumps just appearing everywhere.
Yeah. This is going to be fantastic.
Okay, so who all do you set up to not set off the alarm? Just out of curiosity.
Should I do this? I want to set a joke. Let's see. We want to test it. I think it'd be like all of us are okay, and then you're saying who's allowed or who's not allowed.
Yeah, who's allowed?
I guess.
Yeah, anyone who we trust right now that frequents the keep grounds. So like Dot, if Charm comes back, or when Charm comes back, all the Silver Seekers
Including
and the trainees.
Nim.
Huh?
Nim.
Nim.
Okay. And then you want it to be a mental or audible alarm?
It can be both, right?
It says mental or audible.
Okay. I think for the keep it should be audible, and then for the forest one it could be mental.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It'll be like ding ding ding, and then it'll just be like a fireball explosion. It'll be like, whoa.
You keep going to the bad ones.
Yeah.
You know? What if there's a ding 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 and you go to see who it is and there's just a potted plant sitting on the ground?
Or just like a bunch of gems.
A bunch of gems.
Where someone vomited gems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could
exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like, you know, someone who's like super short
Mm-hmm.
really want this to happen.
or very young.
Oh my gosh, that can happen too. Oh no.
Or someone coming to tell the one alarm.
Yeah.
And then they forget why they came.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I know this is gonna come up. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay. So what's next?
What a great purchase.
Well, I have to stay out in the woods for 8 hours, so.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have anything for the day? If not, I've got
I don't
one
think
thing.
I went back with Vert. I think I probably went to try and find Kishira.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's not hard to find, because she's still pretty hard at work repairing the bar with Nora and Molo and all of them. The place is really coming together, and you can see that it's got a new sign hanging from the front. Taking up one of the group's suggestions, it is Antoinette's Ale House. And yeah, Kashura was working on the roof last time you saw her, and I think now she's probably up on a ladder painting the walls.
It's coming along well.
Do you sneak up on her?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Not intentionally, I just do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's plus one.
Oh, snap.
Oh my
Okay.
god!
There. So that's a 28.
She falls back off the ladder.
You catch her?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Just roll a regular dexterity check.
She falls into your arms. Do you like her?
That's a 1.
Oh, snap.
Comedic.
So 6. But I am trying.
You go to try and catch her, but you totally misjudge where she's going to be, because similar to how when you drop from high places, she kind of has this like elegant drop, where she just slow falls.
And I'm just like left hanging for a couple seconds. Oh, okay.
And then she kind of lands gracefully on the ground, unharmed. Embers of white ash. Don't do that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
And then she kind of collects herself and says, "But damn, that was some impressive sneaking.
Well, thanks.
You're quiet on your paws.
Yeah.
I'll give you that."
That all has served me well. I have had a weird day, and I wanted to come and tell you about it.
She kind of looks at her painting job, and says, "Well, I'm almost to the corner.
Oh, okay.
And then I was going to call it a day. It's getting a little bit late."
Sure.
Oh wait, no, it's in the morning, isn't it?
I think it's like afternoon at this point. We've done a lot today.
Yeah, she says, "I was going to call it a lunch break, so yeah, maybe we get some lunch?"
Yeah.
All right, give me just a minute. I'll finish up here.
Sure thing.
She also definitely has like flecks of paint all over her. That just seems to have happened in the course of painting. And she kind of gets back up on the ladder, has to set it back up, finishes painting to the corner, does a couple quick layers there to make sure the paint's on nice and thick, and then climbs back down the ladder, goes off and kind of takes care of her brush, rinses it off, and then
Son of a painter.
son of a
All of
painter, and says, Yeah, this should be good. I'll just put a lid on the paint, and
Way more detail about painting than we ever have in a D&D game.
yeah, she kind of shepherds you inside, and you can see that. Well, you can smell that Nora has something cooking in there. It's probably you can smell like fresh bread, but also probably some sort of savory smell, like some sort of beef dish, probably. And yeah, when you kind of sit down at the table, Molo, who has been sweeping this place like crazy, kind of comes over and says, are you guys gonna have lunch now? I was gonna take a lunch break too.
Don't look at us for help, we're not there.
Yeah. I think Embers looks to Nora for help.
Nora's kind of back in the kitchen, but Kashura chuckles a little bit, and just like looks down at Molo, crosses her arms, and glares, and he goes, "Ah, never mind! I'll eat with Tess!" And he just scampers off.
You're a lot better at that than me.
Oh, he's real scared of me.
What happened?
Nothing. I didn't do anything. Just the look. It's enough.
Impressive.
He breaks easy. They both do. The other one doesn't bother me.
Yeah. She's real sweet. Just had a hard time.
Hasn't said a word to me, but that one says too many words to me. Sorry. And then Tess will probably bring you some meals from the kitchen. And Nora will come out briefly and kind of wave and say hello, and she looks like she's really busy trying to get this place in order.
Yeah.
So she doesn't stay for long. And before too long, you're set at the table with a nice smelling meal and a couple of drinks.
I'll just start telling Shura about the fate.
About the Feywild, but from your story, it sounds pretty horrible.
Yeah. At the end, it was really nice actually. At the end, but most of it, wow. It's just like no in between with that place.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she goes quiet for a second, and then she says, "So, why was I your first stop, I guess? Why did you need to tell me right away?"
I just
She smiles a bit.
thought you'd be interested.
Well, don't get me wrong, I am. It was an interesting story. It's just, this is when she smiles and she says, "Honestly, I think it's kind of cute."
Okay, well.
No, you dummy.
Oh. Good.
She kind of like punches you on the shoulder. And then she kind of leans across the table and says, "You know, I've never really..."
No, we promised that we'd, you know. I'm gonna say something that's gonna come out the wrong way. Please, I apologize in advance.
She kind of squints at you and says, well, now you have my attention.
Okay. When I was in prison, I really resent a lot of being there, and I don't think that I should have been there for 20 years. It's completely unfair. But I do think that I need to be somewhere where I couldn't get into the kinds of trouble that I had been getting into all my life. See what I mean?
You're saying it'll be good for me just to be apart from everything I've been used to up to this point.
That is kind of what I was trying to say, yes.
I get it, but this? And she just kind of leans back. I don't mind doing work to pay my way, and don't get me wrong, everyone here is nice. She kind of like says that with a bit of a sneer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so normal.
Yeah. But it's, there's nothing to worry about here. You can just kind of think and center yourself and not have to worry about all the schemes and plans and keeping everything ticking along, and whether people are mad at you or whether the cops saw you or any of those things.
Can you roll an insight check?
18.
Something in what you just said, like her eyes kind of dart down to the table for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
During what you just said. She just has a reaction to something there.
Mm. I know it seems boring and not really what you're used to, but maybe some peace is good. Actually, I think maybe you're doing too much in some ways.
I don't think I could do less.
You can always do less.
She shakes her head.
When I was in prison, which I'm very sorry to start every story that way, but it was most of my life. I couldn't do anything. There were days when all I could do was think, be in my own head, sometimes read.
That sounds like hell.
Sometimes it was, but eventually I got used to it and it became okay.
Look, I'm not saying I'm gonna run away or to find something else to do or anything like that. It's a lot to go from that to this, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot, though. You might be right. Don't let that go to your head.
I might also be wrong.
You're probably right. I've never had a time in my life, a period in my life, where I didn't need to think about how to survive in my current situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my brain is still trying to work out how to survive, and there's nothing I have to do here to do that.
That's
my food comes to me. No one's after me as far as I know. It's just weird.
Yeah, I get it. This is the first home I've ever had. Up there in the keep, I never had an address before. So that's, I'm used to surviving on my own too.
Same.
So, yeah, I get it. But it could be good.
She just takes a big sigh and then, drains whatever is left of her ale. I'm not talking to that stupid, squeaky voiced kobold, though. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I know it would like
All right, I'll give it a try.
Do you want to come over for dinner at some point?
She like raises an eyebrow at you.
There's lots of food and space in the keep, and I think, Elwyn was saying it'd be nice to have you over too.
Oh, if Elwyn's asking, yeah, I'll come.
Okay. See you.
There's sarcasm in that, and it's immediately obvious. And then you say "see you," and you just get up and leave.
I think so. That's Embers.
She just goes like, "What?" Just throws her arms up in a big like, okay. But yeah, you leave. Okay.
Yep.
So funny. That's Embers. So yeah, I think I would probably settle in at the ship growing area, ship farm, whatever you want to call it, for at least a little while.
Ship farm. Okay.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
It's very close to something else, which is also really funny.
Yeah. And then talk with. Is Tuppence there the whole time too, or does she like peace out here and then?
I think she'd leave when Nim left.
Oh, okay. Maybe they could be there.
Yeah. If you want to have the conversation with Nim's there.
Yeah,
you can also be there.
Talk with everybody. Man. So the next thing on the list, huh?
Nolan is focusing on her spell.
Okay. She can't talk.
Well, probably.
You can, have some chatter.
Yeah. I'm just setting the scene.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Yep. So I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, but I'm still worried about it.
Worried about what?
What happens when we get there? How to make everything go right?
We talked about
The prison.
the prison. Alright. Sorry, I'm a little distracted right now.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way of knowing what we're up against until we go and see. We have to be careful, more careful than we've been so far. But I feel like the more time we spend adventuring and the more I explore the powers that I have, I might be able to infiltrate the penitentiary as like a mouse or something, and I could stay in that home for like 3 hours.
I'd be a little worried about you going in.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, of course, and I don't know if that's the play, but my point is we have more options now than we have before about
Sure.
gathering information. Even if I have to send one of my wild companions in,
Mm-hmm.
I can do that too, or I don't know, but we have options and it'll be okay, but there's no sense in worrying about it right now. I mean, to a certain extent, we can't prepare fully until we get there.
Yeah.
There's only so much information we can find here.
That's true.
No plan in any place is foolproof.
That's
No
true.
plan?
There's
no
not
plan
one.
any place, I
Nope.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess that's okay.
I know you would feel much more comfortable if we had more information, we had a more solid idea of what we were up against, but we can't right now. And it's by design, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just really need this to go well.
I know. It will.
Okay.
Reach over and take it.
Yeah.
Squeeze it.
Just sit there and just go like that.
No matter what happens, we're getting your father out of there. That's what we're going to do.
Okay. Did we discuss a timeline for like how when we were gonna actually try and do this? Like how many?
That's what we need to talk about right now.
Okay. I forgot if we.
I mean, we probably should have the conversation when Embers gets back from her date.
Yeah.
that I don't know if she told us about or not, but you can't lie to me, so.
Pretty spur of the moment.
What's the travel distance to get there? Because it's like pretty far south.
So that's
right.
Yeah. If you wanted to have spent some time looking at maps,
Yeah.
I know there's a map in the rotation, so you don't
actually up right
necessarily
now.
have to switch to
There it
roll
is.
20, but I'm also going to bring it up on roll 20,
Yeah, it's
Just so
actually
that I
on the
can
screen right now.
Yeah.
show you
In our
players.
slideshow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So you are here in Amberhearth,
Yeah.
and Mount Varengar over here is the location of the penitentiary.
Right.
Super far.
There are a couple ways you could get there based on the map information you have. You could travel on foot and then scale the mountain, but that will be a very difficult climb. Like, think of it as like an Everest climb type of thing.
Okay.
Like it is part of the security of the prison is that the mountain that it's built on is ridiculously treacherous
Mhm.
and cold. So like it would be dangerous just to scale the mountain. The other way that you could go about things is you could travel back down to Fymir and then take a train from Fymir to the town of Greybarrow, which is basically located right near the penitentiary, and it's kind of like the town where like the guards go on break and stuff like that, that sort of thing.
If there's a town nearby, that's
Mhm.
not a good place to have it.
And there's a train station in the town because the Empire needs ways to send soldiers there to rotate them in and out and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but then the question is, would we be able to get past this on the train without gathering suspicion?
I mean, is it like a public train?
Yeah, it's not like a solely
but-
Imperial soldier
Well,
train or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
but like the Silver Seekers find tickets to go to the town next to the penitentiary where the King of Vale is being held secretly.
There are considerations that would need to be made. Not the least of which is Embers was in prison there and could be recognizable
that.
to some of the guards.
Also that.
But yeah, I think it could be done in an inconspicuous way.
Mm-hmm.
This
Like-
isn't the tabaxi you're looking for.
I mean, my vote, and I assume we'll have this conversation at the keep in the evening with Embers.
Mhm.
We pick up where we left off, looking at maps and
Yeah.
stuff. But my vote is to take the train because while the cold never bothered me anyway, I'm not much of an athlete, and I would not like to climb a mountainside. And I feel like we'd be sitting ducks for people seeing us trying to get there. And
I'm
I
wondering if there's tunnels underneath.
Or like a say crossing that we could.
Or some
you didn't want to
way.
spend one day in it.
You are having this
I want to
conversation with Nim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know specifically if there's a crossing right near there, but if there is, the keep on the Fey side does have a bit of a handy feature. Unfortunately, I can't really use it. It was more of Alar's thing, but it does have the ability to, if you know the location of a Fey crossing, it can teleport between them, which is really handy.
Oh wow.
That is really handy. But we'd have to know the location.
Is it easier to find those things in the material plane or in the Feywild?
Are you asking Nim?
Sure.
I don't really know.
Okay.
I guess I'd assume on the Feywild
How do
side.
people normally come across these things?
Chance, happenstance.
There's no like magic or anything.
Sheer dumb
that
luck?
You can use a dowsing
I don't
rod
know.
and-
Maybe they tend to be along ley lines. It's not really my area of expertise.
It's a big part of it, isn't it? Luck. Because an opening could be there, and the next week it could not.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything I've ever read is you have to not be looking for one in order to find one.
Yeah, these more stable and regular, the ones that have regular locations, those are kind of the exception to the rule.
Okay.
You're more likely to stumble into one that's gone the next day than you are to find one that's here persistently, like the one out behind the keep.
Weird. I wish there was a way to kind of find them on a more regular basis.
We can definitely look into it, but for the
Alar would have
purposes-
known if there was, but
Yeah.
For the purposes of this mission, we travel back to Fimir. We can also check in on your dad and your son, right?
as long as they're in Fimir, they travel.
They do
but-
travel.
Yeah. With their no, it wasn't baseball. What was the sport?
Clubstone.
Clubstone.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other consideration, knowing this about the keep, though, is you do know the location of a Fey
Twin
crossing in
Towns.
Twin
Is
Towns.
that closer to Fimir than?
It's a bit
Looks
closer.
Looks like it.
It's a bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But if we travel through the Feywild, there's a consideration of the time wibbly-wobbliness that you're trying to avoid.
Yeah. So does the is it like a two-way transportation thing with the keep? Like, how do you come back?
What do you mean? How would you come back?
Like, the keep can teleport you there
Mm-hmm.
if you want to come back.
Well, it'll teleport you back.
The keep itself teleports or just
Uh-huh.
sends you? The whole keep teleports.
Wait, the keep itself teleports?
Oh, just on the
Oh.
Feywild side, though. Not this one stays here.
I see. Okay, I understand now. Wow, that's... Wow. Okay.
That is really handy.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah,
We
my
did
understanding
find
is that
one.
it was
I can
a.
open it.
Hmm.
If we find what?
A
Oh,
ring.
a ring
Mhm.
somewhere else. Oh yeah.
Maybe that's another thing we can keep our ears out for. I know someone that might be able to help us.
Like, quickly?
Yeah,
I was just thinking that too.
this'll.
Yeah.
What?
He's
Looking
been-
for a
Oh,
ring?
he's been so many places.
Do you know where he is or how to contact him?
He's currently training with. What is the name of? Why can I not remember? The person who gave you the info? Zia Wild Dance.
Yeah.
Yes, in the Court of the Sky. He's doing his training to be a fairy orchestra member.
The drummer, or whatever it was.
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could send him a note asking if it's not. The information out there might be dangerous.
What do you mean?
If somebody intercepts the message, I'm wondering how to contact him and ask the question without someone else finding out.
We can use, like, the sending spell, can't we?
Yeah.
Who has it?
Who has sending?
Yeah. Do you have something?
I thought we had a magic item with sending.
If you do, the only one I can think of is sending stones, and those are linked specifically.
I
Oh,
do.
yeah.
I have a sending spell.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah,
There
So
you
you
go.
could just
we could ask.
send him a message immediately, right now, if you wanted to.
Okay, let's see how it works.
I'm also looking it up right now.
Sorry, what level spell is it? Is it third level?
Mhm.
Oh shit. Yeah, I definitely don't have it.
If it's on a different plane of existence, there is a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive.
Well, we are right next to the Fey crossing. If you want to stop in there, send the message, and then...
That's true.
And Tuppence returned 1 year later.
Well, I mean, you'd only be there for a week.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, press any different. Okay, well, let's try. So let's see. Oh, he's rolling.
I've determined if it arrives.
Okay. So Teppy will say
And you have a limited number of words, right?
25.
25.
25 words.
Okay.
I can't remember what Thistle's voice was like.
Isn't it like fast talker?
Yeah, it was just quick. That's what it was.
What's the name of the city, the closest city to the mountain that you said?
Twin Towns?
No.
No.
Oh, Grey Barrow.
Grave Barrow.
Yep.
Okay, so this is Teppy. Quick question. Is there a ferry crossing close to the city of Greybeard?
Fits.
That's like where it's looked.
Yeah, he'd be like, how's your mom? How's training?
Don't gesture this.
Yeah, don't be just. Don't just.
Let's see.
He's right. If he's right next to Zia, she might know. So that'd be lucky.
Oh,
No fake crossing right next to Grape. Would there be? I will roll for it. I think there's probably a low chance, but I'm gonna say there's a chance. So we'll say 18, 19, or 20 on this dice.
Oof.
It was a 6.
Okay.
The message you get back is, what? Fae crossing near Grey Barrow? No way! Just a bunch of dwarves there. What would the Fae want with them? Baka.
Baka.
That's it.
The Sylvan word for
Yeah.
moron.
Uh-huh.
Tep is used to it.
Sylvan actually Japanese.
Apparently it is now.
Okay, so I relay the information. He says there's just a bunch of dwarfs there. So dwarves make me think of mines, maybe tunnels.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, again, we are not going to know until we get there. So, all the more reason to take the train to this place, and we can scope it out once we're there and form a more concrete plan. I think the biggest question is going to be if we can travel with you, incognito, Ambers.
Yeah.
Because we all know how well Vert can disguise himself.
I guess
Maybe.
Anders came to join.
Well, yeah, I assumed we continued this conversation
Yeah.
later after we looked at
Yeah,
maps.
yeah. Maybe some dyes. Maybe I change the color of my fur.
Well,
A lot of people don't really know the difference between tabaxi if they have fur.
clean shaven tabaxi.
Nim gets a mischievous look
Ah!
and says, we could shave you and make you one of those hairless tabaxi. Then they really wouldn't recognize you.
Amber's like protectively, like
Grabs
pulls
her-
her big long braid that
He's
she's kept
like,
for like many years.
No!
Yeah. No.
I was mostly joking, mostly.
Okay.
the braid is
Mostly.
pretty distinctive, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But if you don't want to make any permanent changes, I wonder if Nadia might have some kind of garments that can help,
I was thinking about that too.
like a hat that will disguise you.
A lot of you keep talking about, and I went into the town for a little bit. People were talking about this Nadia person. I kind of want to see this magic shop.
Well, we can go tomorrow. It sounds
Yeah,
like,
I might, depending on how much time we have, I might.
sounds like I might
Get
need
some more
something
lessons
to
over
disguise
there.
myself.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to prepare then if we're gonna make the trek down to Chimera, or maybe take the keep and teleport to Twin Towns and can check in on Colin and the broken anvil, broken axe,
Get some more snacks from the nice lady.
Oh yeah,
dazzleberries.
That
Tallwind Dazzleberry. Can't remember
Amber's
what the
kind of
name of it
shudders,
was.
remembering how small that place was.
It's very small.
Yeah, I think it's the broken axe.
Broken axe.
Mm-hmm.
And then make our way. Chimera. I mean, is that how we want to do it, or should we just go straight to Chimera?
I don't think I can help much with organizational planning until we get to,
Right. I'm just wondering about what our preferences as far as travel paths. If anyone has preference.
I have a question that I think Amber probably would know the answer to. Is that train also used for prisoner transport?
Yeah, sometimes. But also like supplies and
Mhm.
things like that. So it's got multiple purposes.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
thinking I didn't expect this to happen so soon, but I may as well get it over with.
When is Torrin supposed to be back? Roughly.
Um,
Because we probably want to wait for him to get back to the keep before we leave.
so now that you've mapped out the route through the Underdark down to, like, you know the name? You know the city down there?
Erudition.
Erudition? Yes. Thank you. Now that you've mapped out the route, it's a much quicker journey. So probably a matter of days.
We can take a few days and prepare for our travels and do our errands, and
People there are not going anywhere.
that's true. That's true.
How's the thing coming along?
Oh, it's sprouted.
Really?
Yeah,
Like all the way?
I'd never seen anything like it. It's like a little crystalline sprout, but the leaves look like insect wings.
Oh.
It's
In some
fascinating.
ways, it does look like because in Alvaria, structures are made out of fairy crystal.
Mhm.
So in some ways, it is a bit like that, except that the coloring is very different. This is like a lime greenish color,
Right.
whereas the fairy crystal's obviously like that sparkly blue.
Mm-hmm. So it's amazing. I'm really excited to see what it turns into, and I don't know if it's going to need much more help from me. Although I'm willing to spend another day out there if I need to, but it'll probably keep till we get back.
Okay.
I mean, the enrichment of the land lasts like a year, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I think it's
So it's probably good now.
good for now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It should naturally get sunlight and rain. So
How soon do you need to get Nim back to do the orchestra thing?
yeah, I was wondering about that too.
We still need a couple more people to fill out the restaurant. And so while we're on our adventuring, I guess I can look for a few more people.
I see. So you're gonna stick around for a bit then?
Yeah, at least a little bit.
Are you gonna come with us to Greyhound?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Thank you.
At least I could do after all you did for me.
It's gonna be dangerous, but we'd appreciate the help.
I'd like to, well, work especially Bert, whatever he's calling his name.
Changes every day.
I
Happens.
can never keep up.
Look, it's fine.
Okay.
I almost forgot to tell you about those bunnies that came by.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
They wanted an interview with the founders of the Silver Seekers. And, well, you know, Bert was right there, but I didn't want to out him.
right.
Um,
Because he wasn't himself.
yeah, he was Rick at the time.
Well, Rook was one of the founders.
Yeah, but anyways, I got them to agree that we'll send them a messenger Drake when we're ready to talk to them if we want to.
I see.
I think they were reporters. What
From
was it?
the
Hearth Herald.
Herald.
Yeah.
Oh, just local reporters?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to do an interview about the Silver Seekers.
Well, we are trying to create a foundation here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you and I should go. Members.
Okay.
I mean, we could do that while we're waiting for Torrin and company to come back.
Yeah.
yeah, we have some business to take care of before we gotta go anyway.
We can, what's the word I'm looking for? Craft a story that fits your vision.
Mhm.
And we don't have to contain any of the details that would endanger anyone.
Sounds good.
Right. I'll get to work on that.
Nightfall comes around. Are you going to your meeting?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I
I
was
forgot about
checking to see if I need to change infusions.
sounds way too stressful. That's not what I want.
Or is it?
It was like a little frantic. I think this is better. Awkward meeting sounds about right. That's the name of the song.
I've used this in the other campaign too.
I'm not sure. I would have to figure out what the moon phase is, but it's a clear night, so the moon is shining bright as the two of you make your way out of the north end of town towards the bloodied swath. And I think, Vert, you've been there before.
Yep.
I think we've all been there before.
Yeah, it's overgrown now. Nobody's really using the land. It was probably once farmland, and then the battle happened there, and like there were still like shards of armor and bone and things like that in the grass to be found there.
I would like to have gotten there like quite a bit early, just to make sure that it's not like that's just a meeting place,
Okay.
not like.
Roll a you're trying to get like the lay of the land.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like if it's just gonna be if there is anyone in hiding there. Like,
Get a perception check then.
Yeah.
I'll help you with this.
Okay. Oh, great. That's really bad. That is worse than my passive
Our song
perception.
didn't loop.
13.
Yeah, you kind of scout around the area, and it's a wide area, so you're not necessarily sure where on this wide field you're supposed to be meeting, whoever it is you're meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of scout around like the whole area of the field, and yeah, you don't really find much. You're kind of tripping over things like armor fragments and like broken shields and furrows in the ground that look like they may have been left by dragon claws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't find anyone like lying in wait for you.
Okay.
But at the same time, because it's such a wide field, like it wouldn't be necessarily like the optimal place for an ambush or anything like that. So
Sure.
it does seem like a good place to meet, if spooky. Because yeah, as you're standing there, there's an oppressive weight to this place. You've heard people in Amberhearth talk about how it might be haunted. They like to rumor about how the ghost of Lord Mistralath haunts these plains now.
Mm.
You don't see anything like that, any like spectral occurrences or anything like that, but it is creepy. As you're kind of like picking around the fields in the dark and stumble over a skull or something like that, you know?
Okay.
It is just ominous.
Alright. Well, then we'll wait for our friends to show up.
How early was it that you got there? Like how many?
30 minutes.
30 minutes early?
Yeah, do a quick walk around.
When midnight rolls around, you suddenly hear a sound from behind you. A voice says, "So, find any traps?"
Nope, just armor. Just battlefield, remnants.
I rolled a natural 20 on the stealth check
Yeah,
for this
that's fair.
master thief.
Okay.
It's a good night for that.
You turn around, and there's two figures standing there. The one who spoke seems to be Tabaxi in like dark leather armor that looks excellent for sneaking around.
It's just like Amber's response.
Not quite though.
Not all tobacco look alike.
Let me find my description of this person.
I mean, there's quite
I'm
a
in the
big
wrong note.
catalog
Oh goodness.
of looks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The other person you do recognize though, it's Torga, who you
Yeah.
met before.
Did Torga mention... Torga just referred to this person as the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then after we have that exchange, I'll just say, "You must be the boss."
And sorry, I was going to give you a description.
Oh, sure.
Illuminated by the moonlight, this Tabaxi woman in the dark leather armor You can see that she's young. I think probably 30s-ish. She's got fur that's like mostly orange, but it's got splashes and like spots of brown and a couple accents of white, like in the cheeks and stuff.
Like a cowgirl.
A little bit, yeah. And her fur doesn't look like... It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like super well maintained, you know? It's not super well groomed. It's a little dirty and mangy, yeah. And she has just a crooked scar across her right eye. And you said...
Oh, you must be the boss.
Yep, she kind of leans forward a little bit and says, "That's right, that's me. Flames, crackle of flames." And she like extends a hand out to Embers specifically.
Embers white ash.
Oh, I know who you are. Embers of white fucking ash.
What? How do you know me?
She gives you a big smile and says, "I'm not surprised you don't remember, but you've actually had a big impact on my life."
Inside check.
After it goes up over here, I'm like, uh-oh.
9.
9. What were you looking for with the insight?
In a good or bad way?
She's smiling.
Okay.
Is what I'll give you on a 9.
Okay, yeah.
She kind of like throws her arms wide and says, "You've seen a bit of what I've built here. What do you think?"
It's pretty impressive. It's
Pretty good operation, huh?
very well hidden, very, looking pleadingly.
don't know what history you have.
She's
with this
pretty
person.
much ignoring you, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Torga, though, has like sidled up next to you.
Yeah,
So
I
I think
know.
she had like a bit of a thing for her.
Yeah.
Oh, but you were Onyx before.
I'm still on it.
You're Onyx, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You've done very well keeping out of the worms.
I mean, they know about us, and we clash with them a bit here and there, but yeah, they haven't found us. They won't.
Yeah, it's smart and effective, I guess. Where do I know you from?
She laughs. As drunk as you were, I'm really not surprised you don't remember. Pull up the info.
Oh boy.
Me and my friends, we were young. Torga, a guy named Fritz, he's kind of not really with us anymore.
I know Fritz.
You know, am I the only one you don't remember? Damn. Well, anyways, we got into a bit of trouble back when we were kids on the street, and you happened to be passing by. As I mentioned, pretty darn drunk.
Yeah.
But got us out of the trouble, and no, I'll never forget what you said to me. Your advice that day changed everything. And she kind of says the next bit reverently, and you can tell it's a quote.
I'm so scared.
She says, "In this life, you can't trust anything or anyone but yourself. If you want something, it's up to you to take it." And we have.
That sounds like maybe what I might have believed then.
It's what you said. Yeah, and she's just like glowing with admiration. I really can't believe it's you. But it is, I can tell. After all these years. We get to do another job together.
So maybe we should talk about the job.
Please talk about the job.
Is that alright with you?
By all means. That's why we're here.
So,
Her smile goes away when she's talking to Onyx, though.
yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not.
She's back to business.
Yeah. So, the, how do I want to phrase this? Since we haven't really established firm agreements yet, we actually have a different job in mind. I know that we were talking about, how did we phrase it last time? It was like, breaking into the Star facility and taking something.
Of vehicle investment.
Yeah. We're talking about collecting that vehicle in the Star facility, but there's actually something that's more important.
She raises her eyebrows. Well, we'd already started doing some planning, but I guess let's hear it. If it's a bigger score, a bigger take.
Yeah, I apologize for the sudden change. What was the name of the person who broke out of Greymantle?
Shay Hexwing.
Shay Hexman, okay. So, we need some information for the Greymantle Penitentiary.
Yeah, she kind of narrows her eyes at you.
So, as you can see, that's probably it's different, bigger.
You hoping to get someone on the inside? You looking to get someone?
Getting someone out, but we need information.
She looks over at Embers and that like wild smile creeps across her face again, and she just points at you. This one, wild.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. So
you made this monster.
Are you familiar with the name Shay Hexwing?
Yeah, her eyes show recognition and she nods. Yeah, I've heard the name.
I'm of the belief that they escaped Greymantle at one point. We did some digging. There's reason to believe that's true.
Okay.
Do you know their whereabouts? How to contact them?
No.
Okay.
But if I could, I'd gladly try and recruit. I mean, Hexwing by reputation.
That would be option one, is to get information directly from them. If that's not going to happen, then if there were some, ex-guards or some people who work there who know how to get into the high security area, that would be option two.
All right, so
we might not necessarily need you and your crew to go specifically to Greymantle if you have connections. If you are as, good at information gathering and doing these jobs as you say you are, and you have connections to these people.
Well, I'll be blunt. We're currently in the process of expanding out of Ardalier. We haven't done a ton of jobs in Sergil yet. This was going to be one of our bigger. It was going to be kind of a debut onto that stage for our crew, but
Okay. I think it's still at the same scale, if you ask me.
might be bigger.
Maybe bigger.
I'll be blunt though. No one has inns at Mount Berengar Penitentiary. We can try and make some.
That's not true.
He raises an eyebrow.
They let in priests to minister to the prisoners.
Okay, that's something. Look, we can do some digging and start to get some information. Try and build some connections. Is that good enough for a start?
I think that's good enough for a start. What's your timeline?
It's a tough ask. But give us a week and let us see how much progress we're able to make.
Okay.
If we can do this, what are we talking? What's our cut?
I don't know. I mean, what we promised them for the? It was like 100 a head or something, right? It was a pretty big. It was a pretty big amount of money.
On the assumption that they'd need 10 people.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many people do you think you need? And this is just for information gathering, so it's probably not going to be, at least to start, depending on where we go with this. If I was asking you to go into Mount Berengar itself.
She shakes her head and says, job like this, information, it's not about how many people you put on it. It's about the value of the information you're selling, and if we can get what you want, it's some pretty damn valuable information, so price is going to be high.
What are you thinking? Like a few hundred gold for the information?
I would go higher than that.
I mean, a few hundred's a lot.
We're asking them to give up a lot if you get caught.
Okay.
200 up front. I'll evaluate what we learn. And we'll see how much it's worth then.
200 now, and then we'll check in a week, you say? I'm gonna insight check real quick.
For our trouble, you see.
I got a 19 plus 5, so
What are you
24.
trying to figure out?
I'm trying to figure out if they're like scalping me, basically. Like 200 up front seems like a lot, just to evaluate the situation without actually doing any.
Yeah, you get the sense that she could be negotiated down.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try then. I'll be like, so I'll just like kind of stiffen my posture and be like, that's a pretty high amount for no promise of any information at all.
Got a counter?
We'll do half that, and then depending on what you find, I mean, I think the score could be pretty large in the end, but without having any indication of what your connections what connections you have, or what you might bring to the table.
She
I don't have reason to give you much at all up front.
Yeah, she gives you a hard look. Roll a persuasion check.
Sure. Okay.
What was her name again?
Crackle of Flames, but she just introduced herself as Flames.
Got it.
Okay, so this isn't deception. Okay, this is fine. Oh, that's not bad. 18.
18? Yeah, she gives you that hard look and says, fine, 100 up front, and we'll see where we stand in a week.
Okay, so then I'll just grab the pouch of coins, hand it to her.
She takes it, kind of weighs it, opens it up, pulls one out, chomps on it a little bit, puts it back in. It's good.
Yeah.
She kind of pockets it.
We have a deal then.
We have a deal.
Okay. Well, you know how to reach us.
Yeah, and she and Torga go to kind of like skulk back into the night. Torga does not. Torga like trips backward over one of the barrels. Ah, shit! Falls over. But in the chaos of Torga falling over, Flames disappears.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shall we get back?
She went out.
So, I think on the way back, I know that Embers probably doesn't want to talk about it, but I'll be like, did you actually...
There's a great chance that did happen.
Okay. I mean, you should have been doing the... persuading back there, not me.
I was caught pretty flat-footed by all that. I had no mind for whatever was happening there.
Now, hear me out, but next time... No, maybe I shouldn't do this. I was going to say, next time I meet them, I could actually just be you. And do the talking.
I think they would realize something was up. I don't think you can be awkward enough.
I don't know. Pretty decent at these sorts of things, but nah, it's okay. I am
on that note, there was... I want to end on a cliffhanger for the one other scene I did want to do, which is Elwyn, at some point when you're maybe up on the roof of the keep or something like that, enjoying the warm summer air, you do feel a cold breeze kind of blow across you, and you see a snowflake or two. And you feel a presence behind you. A ping goes off in your head.
Wait, is it the keep? Then it's audible.
Oh, then you hear a whoop, 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 and
How long does it go?
there's no wild magic, at least.
Dang it.
You
Very
something
disruptive.
and someone behind you sets off the alarm, and we'll end tonight's episode there.
With the alarm bells go.
Yep.
That's funny.
That's amazing.
Thank you for playing tonight. We went a bit long, but we were having fun. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch, and we'll be back with more of this Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's time for a heist.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.